People always place me before I open my mouth. Somebody hears the cadence, rolls it on their tongue like a taste they can't quite name, and the label glues itself across my forehead. Foreign. Never mind that I carry a navy blue passport with an eagle pressed into the cover, or that I swore the oath with my right hand in the air, and my 3-year-old daughter balanced on my left hip. Never mind that I voted in every election, school board included, since the day I became eligible. The accent slips out, and the stereotypes swing open like heavy oak doors, ushering in an entire museum of assumptions. Some see Apu from the Quickie Mart, complete with the sing-song pitch and the convenience store counter. Others see the arranged marriage plot from a movie, overbearing aunties and henna dripping onto white carpet, a few picture spreadsheets and Silicon Valley lanyards because every Indian must code or audit, right? All of them certain, all of them wrong. A woman once asked my husband, right in front of me, how much my family had paid for my dowry. My sweet southern born husband blinked twice and said, a lifetime supply of cricket scores, non negotiable. She laughed, thinking he was charming, never noticing the way my spine stiffened. That question erased my PhD, erased the years I paid into Social Security, erased the flag I helped fold at my daughter's Girl Scout meetings. With 4 careless words, she shelved me between curry powder and outsourcing statistics. Look, I'm proud of my Ganges mornings, of my mother whispering Sanskrit blessings into my hair. I'm also proud of the Saturday I helped hoist new rafters on a habitat build in Appalachia, shouting measurements over the whir of a circular saw. I can switch, mid-sentence, between remembering the smoky perfume of jasmine garlands in Bengaluru traffic and the first time I tasted sweet tea on a North Carolina porch, while crickets argued in the dusk. Both are true. Neither one cancels the other. And yet the world keeps trying to staple a single story to my skin because my R's curl more than most, because my name has a couple of syllables that feel like hopscotch on an American tongue. They don't see a woman who weeps at the national anthem, or who once argued a speeding ticket all the way to traffic court and won. They don't see a woman who burns her own roti, who loves college football tailgates, who can quote both the Gospel of John and the Bhagavad Gita, who believes grace can wear many faces. So here's my plea. Plain as sweet tea ice clinking in a mason jar. Give me the courtesy of your curiosity. Ask. Don't assume. Sit down. Listen. I will gladly swap stories about the time my father waited 3 hours outside the US consulate, clutching his passport like a golden ticket, and how he finally stepped through the gate and whispered, "Here, we can be anything." About the day I buried my first dog under the maple in our suburban backyard, reciting the Lord's Prayer while clutching a fistful of Georgia red clay. About teaching my daughter to light diyas for Diwali and luminarias for Christmas on the same table because light is light and home is home. I promise you'll find contradictions because human beings always contradict the file folders we're stuffed into. You'll find I'm impatient in grocery lines, that I'm secretly addicted to gas station beef jerky, that I voted for 3 different political parties in the last 12 years because issues, like people, don't obey party colors. You'll find I still mispronounce rural sometimes, and that I can cook jalmuri from memory but still mess up boxed macaroni. You'll find in the end that I'm like you, complex, unfinished, stubbornly original. So I stand here, arms open, palms forward, not in surrender, but in invitation. Judge me if you must, but judge me last, not first. Judge me after you know the lullabies I was rocked with and the songs I now rock my daughter to sleep with. Judge me after you've seen me fail and seen me get back up. Judge me after you've learned the full chorus of my accent, its sorrow, its sass, its stubborn hope. I've already taken the first step. The question is, are you willing to cross the footbridge with me?